Good day, folks. Welcome to Answers Life. I hope everyone's doing great today. Happy Sunday to everybody. Happy Sunday to those of you that have to work. Now, there's a lot of people out here that are listening to me right now. You're religious. You prefer to go to church Sunday morning as opposed to having to go to your job. Now, me personally, I don't really do the whole church thing, but I know there's a lot of you that do. But you can't go to church because you work in a profession that requires you to work Sundays, at least some of the time. Now, I work at a medical facility, and there's a lot of people that are religious here. I mean, after all, it is Alabama. And I know a lot of these people prefer to be at home, and they prefer to dress up in whatever dress clothes they wear or whatever they wear to go to church, as opposed to being stuck here all day. And then if they have enough energy, they might get to catch the 6 o'clock evening service. But I just want to let you guys know that, just because you don't get to go to worship does not mean that you're not in the presence of God. Just because you don't get to go to worship and sing and give a crap load of your money to the offering plate, which, by the way, that 10% thing is not even in the Bible. Just thought I'll throw that out there for those of you that didn't know. Just because you don't go to church doesn't mean you're not doing God's work. Now, there's a lot of us out here right now that are dissatisfied with the line of work that we do. We don't like how the economy is operating. There's a bunch of us out here that are just complaining about it online. But believe it or not, if you work, I don't care if you work at a fast food place, I don't care if you work at a gas station, you are still doing God's work. Because there is somebody out here that maybe they also had to work today, or maybe they had to do other stuff, like maybe they might be on their way to or from visiting some family or whatever the case might be, and they needed to stop off at that gas station to use the restroom and to fill up their vehicle with fuel, or maybe they're tired and just to prevent themselves from falling asleep, they had to stop off at the gas station to grab a cup of coffee. Now, if it wasn't for you to be at that front counter to check these people out, if it wasn't for you to go around and make sure that the coffee machine is full of fresh coffee, make sure the sugar and the cream and the stirs and whatever food that they sell is made available to the public, that person wouldn't have been able to go in and get that cup of coffee or something to eat or whatever they had to do to stay alert. I mean, of course, you got a lot of truck drivers out here that work on Sundays. So just think of all of those people that you're helping out by showing up to work today on Sunday. And obviously, if you work at fast food, same thing. And definitely, if you're working at a medical facility, you're definitely doing God's work. I don't care if you're a CNA, nurse, maintenance custodian, whatever position you're working in the medical facility that you're working in, you're doing God's work. You're taking care of patients. You're playing a role in seeing to it that they get better and they ultimately get to go home and resume back to their normal life. Or if you're working at a medical facility to where you deal with people that are severely sick and they're probably going to check out of the universe real soon, whatever amount of time that the universe has allowed them to live before their day of checkout, for those of you that work in those kind of facilities, you're playing a huge role in their life. You're playing a huge role in making their life just a little bit better, just a little bit more bearable. I mean, uh, so yeah, for those of you that have to work they have to work today on a Sunday. Don't, like I said, don't assume that you are not doing God's work. You are not in the presence of God because you're unable to attend church this morning. And if church is that important to you, you can always, when you get off of work, you know, most of you can always catch the 6 o'clock service. Just saying. And honestly, for those of you that don't even go to church, I mean, I know a lot of people that are religious, but they don't like to go to church for various reasons. And again, it's not really about what you do at your church on Sunday or Wednesday or during the holiday. I mean, the true test of rather or rather not you're a good person, or rather not you're doing God's work, is what you do day to day. How you conduct yourself on a daily basis, how you carry yourself on a daily basis. And that is one of the reasons why people like myself, I like to jump on YouTube here and I like to talk about ways to live a happier life. I like to talk about ways that I'm looking at, you know. And honestly, if I had a little bit more resources, I would help out more people. But I just feel just by living a life that's more desirable to you. I mean, not only will it help with your health long term, but it will also help with your overall mood, your overall just demeanor. Because when you're in a good mood and your demeanor is good, you're going to naturally treat people better than you would if you're pissed off all the time. That's all I got for this video. I know it's a short video, but I said what I had to say. So everybody try to have a good rest of the day. Have a good Sunday. Have a good weekend. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Well, I forgot to include this part of the video. For those of you that have to work Sunday, I forgot to also include much respect to all the first responders out here. Much respect to all the over-the-road truck drivers out here. And much respect to anybody else who has to work on a Sunday who I may not mention throughout this video. Okay, that's all I got. Stay blessed.